from Milke DeVos, Tate of Tantric Arts for Women. It's cultivating sexual energy, love and spirit, hormones, menopause, anchoring and grounding in our own energy. All important stuff. Today, I'm continuing to read, and we're talking about progression of practice. There are 3 videos prior to this in the reading list or playlist on this channel. What list have I got it under? I think it's read by Tracer, I think, on my playlist if you want to listen to the others. But let's get started. It is important to understand why we do practice in a certain order. Cultivating sexual energy requires the preparation of your body, mind, just as the process of cultivating a garden requires that we weed, till the soil, nourish and with fertilizer, and plant the seeds before we can harvest the fruit. Part of the preparation of your body mind is emotional transformation. We open channels to cultivating the chi. We store the energy to build a reserve. The structure allows us to be spontaneous and creative. Discipline breeds freedom. So, warm-ups, Qigong and Tate Tantric Yoga loosens tension, opens the body and grounds our energy in the earth. Healing work transforms the emotion and clears obstructions to free expression of your sexuality. The inner smile and breast massage opens the heart, activates the hormones and fuses the virtues of the organs into compassion. When the heart opens, the yoni opens. So inner smile is just smiling inward, and I think of it as one of the masters would say is starting our internal love engine. So it's connecting with that heart energy and that energy and frequency of love as well. I just wanted to add in there. Belly and ovarian massage improves the chi and blood circulation and releases energetic knots around the navel. Also is going to help with period pains as well because of the blood flow, which is why movement helps with period pains. Cleansing the uterus from negative emotions allows us to feel our creative centers with compassionate vibration. Also, we're clearing out much of that witch wound and that collective wounding and healing that is kind of happening as the rise of the feminine in its balance with the divine masculine is there. Practicing yoni articulation and yoni breathing awakens the sexual energy. Yoni toning connects our throat and sexual chakras, freeing our creative voice. Jade Ed practice strengthens the pelvic floor, warms up, circulates and activates the sexual energy. And sexual energy, when we talk about sexual energy, is related to creation energy, birthing energy, which is when we go from sort of when we finish having children, that energy isn't just about having children and creating, it's also about creating projects, birthing projects, as well as birthing children, bringing things into manifestation, into being in a feminine aspecting way, as opposed to the masculine doing way. Where was I? Activating sexual energy articulates the vagina as an instrument of love, stimulates the reflexology zones inside the vagina and opens portals from endless dimensions of orgasm. Te Yoni Yoga uses various postures and movements to channel the sexual energy, so like Kundalini energy and the awakening of that rising from the lower chakras up, as opposed from the top chakras down. It's that flow of the energy through the Merkaba bars. Tate Tantric Qigong and Chi weights lifting enliven your movement and strengthen your internal powers. Kidney and bone breathing build up your reservoir of energy. Circulating the sexual energy moves and refines the energy in the major channels. Harmonious exchange enhances the conscious exchange of energies with your partner. This is sacred sexuality as opposed to mammals reproducing. Inner alchemy balances and transforms fire and water into unconditional love and marries your inner masculine and feminine energies into conscious wholeness. It's the divine feminine, divine masculine coming together. And I want to read you a quote from Jesus in reference to this. So this might be sacrilege to some, I'm sure. If that's triggering you, do forgive me. Where was it? I think it was, this is one I quoted. When you make the two into one and make the inner light the outer, and the outer like the inner, and the upper like the lower, and when you make male and female into a single one, so that the male will not be male, nor the female be female, when you make eyes in place of eyes, and hands in place of hands, foot in place of foot, an image in place of an image, then you will enter the kingdom. It's that connecting the upper part of the Merkaba with the lower part of the Merkaba, in my opinion. But that is just my opinion, of course. Ultimately, developing compassion and inner beauty is our best protection and a gift to the universe. What we radiate comes back to us. Let us support and encourage each other to be creative and healthy. Practice with other women for a powerful exploration of your essence energy. The tools you learn, and this doesn't mean, God, for the pervs watching this, you're not going to be getting anything like that, I'm afraid. Just as I've had some people, because of the words tantric, doing some weird posts. Where was I? Sorry. Practice with other women for powerful exploration of your essential energy. It's understanding your energy and how it feels. The tools you learn will help you transform your life and support your healing journey into radiant wellness. Enjoy these experiences of love. These practices are based on an ancient tradition and applied in creative ways. Once you get the essence, please add your creativity to your practice. When you do it, you will start to reap the countless benefits. And before I read into, because how much, this is quite a long part that's imperative that I keep all of that together. Things like touch, self-massage, so tapping, things that tune into us, being very present in our body is what I'm meaning, that you can do, as well as things that are sensual, coming into Scorpio when I'm recording this, feathers, it's tuning fabrics and feeling and understanding when you using scrubs and facial masks and oils on the body, understanding, treating your body like it's a temple. So Milka's journey of rebirth. So in the words of Milka DeVos, my youth was full of wonder. As a teenager, I had a deep respect for sex and felt this act was truly sacred. It could create a child and profoundly change one's life. The other girls in my high school seemed more casual in their exploits of sex. It was drenched in drug, alcohol, and rock and roll scenes. I loved kissing and playing, but as for full intercourse, I wanted to make sure the guy was right for me. My first serious boyfriend felt an amazing energy coursing through me and described it as champagne bubbling in in university, my boyfriend and I went all the way. Delightful sensations across, but I felt something was missing. I recognised that his hands were not the hands of my long-term lover. I choreographed a dance of the 5 elements. Intuitively, all the colours and movements of the elements from the dream state. The later read about them, stirring a cauldron. The other 5 dancers poured into negative emotions into this cauldron to be fused into compassion. All at once, I popped out of my body and saw myself dancing from above in the auditorium. I realised that I was more than a physical body. I was a microcosm of the vast universe. Little did I know that I would one day be teaching fusion of the 5 elements and microcosmic orbit, which are central to the practice of inner alchemy. During this very creative time in my life, my masturbation stopped. I felt very healthy, vibrant, and inspired. I felt that I was channeling sexual and emotional energy into my dance. It was because of hormonal imbalance or weakness, but due to the raising of the creative force into expression, known as slaying the red dragon in Taoist classical text. After university, I left Canada and the possibility of homesteading and children for another adventure. I went to Germany to study ephemery and ethereal dance, also called visible speech and song. My body was becoming transparent, open. I could feel energy flowing through me, carrying me like an angel through space. My body moved spontaneously every time I meditated, as the chi circulated around and through me like fountains and whirlpools. These patterns of chi I later discovered were embraced in the universal healing Tai system and cultivating in practices like microcosmic orbits. Many other rhythmical patterns pulsed and circulated in different centres, which I covered and recorded in my journal. On my holiday, I went to Switzerland, where I met my future husband. I fell in love with his voice before I saw him. He was a meditator and accompanied him on retreat in the Swiss Alps. My meditation was simply flowing the breath. When I started to meditate, a surge of energy moved through my core channel like a volcano and overflowed through all my channels. Many awakening processes as I went through a birth of my energy body over 9 months. I felt sometimes like a flaming ice cube, crystal clear and frozen in stillness with a glowing arc field, the streaming revival of fire and water inside made me sweat in a cold chalet where you could see your breath. The bliss of cosmic orgasm made my body feel buoyant and light-filled. The boundaries between the universe and myself often dissolved, leaving vast spaciousness. My soul body spontaneously extended above me. I felt a strong pull on my own crown, like someone was pulling my hair. Then I felt about 15 feet high, giving me a general view of the present moment. A bright light in my core developed, which I called a diamond. I felt like a Madonna, giving my diamond devout attention with unconditional love and compassion. For about 9 months, it was like a fetus stirring inside of me. Currents were so strong that they moved my body involuntarily. I trusted the person like a woman giving birth. Carefully, I observed the awesome wisdom of energy. The process of freeing, flowing, energetic opening continued through voice and gesture, the immortal body, a high self communicative direction. It became more and more vivid how the divine light lives within me and manifest through me. The energy was often blissful and loving, and I would describe it now as a spiritual orgasm. Waves of compassion would move me to tears beyond the pain of my present personal life. We did many meditation retreats together, and on one moonlit night, we came together as a couple. After 4 years of an Irufri dance training, we moved to an isolated island in Desolated Sound, British Columbia. My partner was familiar with the yogic tradition of tantric and was skilled in moving sexual energy and seminal retention. Our energy bodies exchange bliss in a vivid way beyond our physical bodies. The subtle body lovemaking was seamless with the exploration of our energy bodies and was revealed more and more as we dedicated ourselves to tantra, dance and singing. In 83, my husband experienced a powerful Kundalini awakening that shook his world. I felt like a midwife for his energetic birth. Fortunately, we learned of the Taoist master Makta Channa when my friend and Taja teacher gave us his first book, Awakening Healing Energy through Tay. Upon learning about the Taoist map of our experience, we urgently flew to San Francisco to meet him and other healing Taoist instructors. He was impressed by our story and spontaneous awakening. It showed how the ancient teachings are universal in nature. He then invited us to become instructed of the healing Taoist system, whose international branch was renamed 20 years later as Universal Healing Taoist. The 20 years we devoted ran silent ground retreats centre on Reed Island, British Columbia. It was a spiritual home for the cultivation of meditation, healing and creative arts. My training with Heal's Tale communicative clarity clarified safe and effective ways to work with energy and inner alchemy. It was fulfilling to see the development of these who applied their teacher training backed by sustainable practice. Our lifestyle at the retreat was a very special opportunity for inner research. We worked consistently with the sexual energy, and the students at the retreat could feel this a profound energy in their meditation and Qigong practice. We also channeled this energy into singing, voice, the connection of my sexual center and throat chakra allowed many poems to be channeled through me. For a second time, my menstrual cycle stopped for 9 months. The energy was channeled into meditation state and spontaneous poetry. Again, I felt full of life, very blissful and lucid. It was a gift of spirit. I felt how sexual essence can profoundly be transformed into energy and spiritual practice. Many female students had lighter menstrual cycles with less discomfort. I made a conscious decision not to be a mother in this lifetime, but rather to be a spirit mother for many, in service of their spiritual development at the retreat. My shamanic name is Minke, White Crane Woman. Minke means bright soul. After a long marriage of about 20 years, there came a time when my husband and I grew apart. I needed more affection. My heart's flower was withering. The divorce was very stressful emotionally. I was loving my home and my life work as well as my relationship. I was vulnerable and developed a severe heart condition, which the doctor says was created by a virus. I was increasingly ill and dying from about 9 months. I tried to heal this condition with Western and alternative medicines, but the damage could called for a heart transplant on April the 6th, 2004. I was close to death's door and was given a second chance. I called this new heart, new start. My sense of life purpose was enlivened. I watched my body grow itself from skin and bone into new muscles and new hair. This was the miraculous work of sexual energy. The new Jin energy is what we cultivate in sexual energy. It's the Qigong word. Jin knew the original blueprint and put me back together again blissfully. I practiced microcosmic orbit, inner smile, and kidney and yoni breath throughout my illness and recovery to restore my physical body and energy. The inner smile of loving acceptance never left me. My remarkable recovery was living proof of the effectiveness of Taoist practice. 4 months after the operation, my dear friend Dave and I taught Healing Love of Hollyhock Retreat Centre. I was still limping a bit as I had a drop foot. I used my intention to encourage the nurse to grow together, to dance, to kiss each other. It worked. I was so grateful to be able to walk and dance again. Nerves to grow together, not nerves, sorry. The divine kicked me out of the divine kicked me out of Muscat lifestyle. Now living in the marketplace, my vision is to help others cultivate their connection with the great universal spirit, to become peaceful with their soul's expression, and to manifest wisdom and compassion through their bodies. Not everyone has such a dynamic story, but we all have ups and downs in life. I believe these fundamental practices are very supportive in the healing practices of conscious living and thriving. Now I am living my passion, teaching body, mind, spirit, and energy arts internally. My baby is feminine treasures, which emerge through working on myself and with other women in classes and retreats. Many women contact me asking to learn these practices from a woman rather than from a man. Up until now, many of these practices have been taught by men. Songs of poems have poured through me out of my connection with divine love and creative energy. A lot of those creative impulses I had integrated into feminine treasures training and sacred femininity. 1 month training in Taoist tantric arts. In co-creating this training with Shakti Shalon, I have been fortunate to experience women from all over the world blooming into their full potential. My present partner, Dave, has played a vital role in supporting my growth. His love makes my inner flow blossom. His wisdom casts light where I need more awareness to transform the past and live even more fully in the present. I am most grateful to my power of love to heal and the power of conscious sexual exchange to open each other to the divine. My new liberated self is exploring the full spectrum of the feminine and enjoying being sexy, sweet, wise, or motherly as the moment calls for. Living and dancing my passion is a counterbalance for the more masculine, ambitious aspects of modern life, like being on the computer, texting, and other verbal and written based communications. My friend Wendy Lang who did an 8-month retreat with us over 20 years ago, asked if I would organise medical Qigong training for her in Vancouver. I have completed this training to the master level and am certified by the International Institute of Medical Qigong. It opened doors to the psychic, psychological and spiritual dimensions of energy healing. That's what I'm training to do. The medical Qigong sessions have also been an important step in awakening and healing from the heart transplant. 5 years after the operation, Wendy gave me a session that helped reset the rhythm of my heart, which still had the sporty, athletic rhythm of a donor into the rhythm of an inner dancer. 10 years after my heart transplant, a primal fear reared its head and I found myself in another crisis, wondering when, where and why I would die. I cried to the divine that I might live and do the creative work I came here for. This anxiety was creating high blood pressure and I lost my natural self-confidence. The fear felt like black, dense metal in my back, which pushed me from being behind and made me feel like running away from the darkness in my heart. This fear manifested in my life as a robot-like habitual way of distracting myself through work. Wendy facilitated me through a soul retrieving journey where I faced my worst fear of dying. I found myself crossing the street and suddenly I fell to my death, but something lifted me up to the edge of the street. I was not ready to die. There was still so much creating within me. Dave rushed to my side and I got to look into my partner's loving blue eyes for the last time. It was very hard to leave him and all of the loved ones in my life. I felt the shock of their hearing of my death and felt the love behind their tears. I passed through the vow and was greeted by the circle of angels. They opened a portal for me to retrieve my life, which appeared through my world. I went higher on a beam of rainbow light and became a star. It was peaceful and I felt supported by a grid, the divine masculine safety net. There was no touching and yet I felt I was touched. Everything through this network of light. I can relate to that. I could play, spin, spiral and sparkle. Floating in a grid, I was supported yet free. My eternal soul star reincarnated in my heart center. My physical heart retrieved light transmissions from the star, which brought into balance the beating of my heart's wings. It felt like the internal bird could fly over the entire ocean. The 12 angels formed a halo above my head, which felt like a wedding ring that married me to the divine. As in near-death experiences, when I reached my body, the healing light spread into every cell and created a deep trust in love that penetrated right into my bones. What was once the heavy metal of fear transformed into diamonds of mirrors, which reflected light suspended from the divine source. What was once worry transformed into wonder. I could see the bright star in my eyes. Life was no longer a burden, but an opportunity to play. I believe creative or Kundalini energy has been playing an essential role in my personal evolution. I am confident that this will ripple and continue to inspire many women on their path of unifying their primal creative life force with their spirituality. Thank you for the opportunity to share this story. I encourage you all to write your sexual and spiritual adventure. Blessings of love and bliss to you all. I offer my joy and love for practice. Alchemy of opposition. When I curl over and cry, and you roll over and run, distant yet love draws near. With a sigh of passion, I long to open to you. You long to penetrate me. Pushing, pulling, faster and faster, vibrating like a sperm towel, swimming into the egg. Born under one sky again and again, one split and our tiff, arise and resolve in the taste. With a sigh of compassion, I dissolve into you, you merge into me. Love is the alchemy agent, fussing opposite into harmony. Our loving returns to the source. And next we work with, next time will be Hysteromy, emergence of the divine feminine. I'll see you next time. Thank you for joining me. Please like, share, let me know your thoughts below. This one I didn't ad lib. I wanted to share Milka's beautiful journey and story with you.